1956, the movie Lust for Life. It was directed by Vincente Minnelli from a screenplay written by Norman Corwin, and it starred Kirk Douglas as Vincent van Gogh. Anthony Quinn was Paul Gauguin. James Donald played Theo, Van Gogh's brother. Pamela Brown played Christine. Everett Sloane was the Dr. Gadget. And Jeanette Sturker was Kay. This movie received one Oscar win for supporting actor for Anthony Quinn, and 2 nominations, one for Kirk Douglas and one for screenplay. So it was obviously held in very high regard. Let's go through it then. It's basically a sort of biography of the life of Vincent van Gogh, the painter, and we catch early on Van Gogh is trying to emulate his father by becoming a preacher, but he fails to pass the test, and this symbolizes the beginning of many sort of failures as he sees it within himself throughout his life. After taking it on the chin, so to speak, he then pleads for an opportunity to help others who are in need, and ends up going to a very run-down part of the world, which is in the coal mining industry, and he tries there to offer his help and advice amidst the community of coal miners who are suffering extreme hardship. However, that doesn't really meet with his need to feel that he's doing good, and his self-doubt and fear proceeds to take him back to his brother Theo in Paris, and there he starts to explore his talent as a painter and a person who can draw. The movie then traces him through his relationships, his endeavor to make a difference through his art, and we come across his relationship with Christine, who he finds in a bar. She's a prostitute, an older prostitute, but they strike up some sort of sincerity. They have things in common. They are both low on self-esteem, and so a love of sorts developed, and they bear a child. However, Van Gogh is so poor because he's obsessed with working, but is unable to supplement this with income to look after the family, and so inevitably Christine leaves him and goes back to her family. Yet another failure as he sees it, and we then spend some time focusing on his euphoria at staying in Arles. He goes there on the advice of Paul Gauguin, excellently played by Anthony Quinn, to escape the noise and the distractions and to get into his work, and he clearly does, becoming a workaholic, and within the house that he manages to rent, it is completely occupied by canvas after canvas, and then we catch a period when Gauguin who's also been living in poverty, working in Brittany, arrives in Arles and starts sharing the house with Van Gogh. Their relationship is a very volatile one, prone to extremes. They have a common desire to paint, but the methods and the emotions attached to that are quite significantly different. And it's at this stage that Van Gogh starts to present mental health problems, and his extremes in emotions led to the infamous ear severance after Gauguin moves out. We then, in the latter part of the biography, see his eventual placement in mental health facilities, and his return to live with his brother, and then his eventual demise in 1890 following an incident where he loses control of himself and shoots himself in the head. Okay, all the plot spoilers that you want there, but it's a story that's been well chronicled. I have to say that the performances of the two main characters, Douglas, who's magnificent in his emotional frailty, and he exudes a passion and a despair that is quite incredible to watch. The short appearance of Quinn is quite significant, and as he arrives on the scene, he completely dominates the screen with his demeanor, with his non-verbal, and with his attitude, and quite deservedly won the supporting actor Oscar for his performance. So this is certainly one of the best movies of 1957. It will appear in my top 5, and the paintings, of course, are absolutely magnificent. So if nothing else, you get a sort of walk through a gallery of Van Gogh's art whilst watching the movie. So get to look at it. Lust for Life, made in 1956.